All right. Hello, Effie. Thank you so much for joining the call. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining as
Effie,
well.
your name is Tobor, right? Effie Tobor.
Uh, yes, correct.
All right. So, Effie, let me just give you a brief about me. My name is Jalal. I work at K21 as an instructor. Apart from that, I do work in one of the organization as a project manager for AI and conversational AI domain, wherein we look into the requirement of the customer and then we try to deliver the project for them. There is a requirement of infra also that needs to be checked from our end. We do look into that aspect also. All right,
Okay, sounds good.
wonderful. So, Afi, before we start, can you give me a brief background about you and your experience as AWS Network Engineer?
Yes, so as you know, my name is Effe. I'm currently at AWS Cloud Infrastructure for Cayman. I help them with their networking. One of the roles I've played in that is using Terraform to like automate and thereby increasing
Mhm.
the speed of our infrastructure delivery and everything. I come from an IT background. I have my degree from WGU, Computer Information System, and I have currently have over 5 years of experience in cloud, and I have about 2 years of experience in tech support. That's where I started off, and now I'm over a year in cloud.
All right. So, are you experienced on on-prem also or only on cloud?
I am more experienced on cloud, but I do have Active Directory experience as well. I have
Mhm.
experience with working with the on-prem team for network resolutions, working with Palo Alto, because on our side, we have different departments that handles the on-premise network. So whenever there's like a need for connectivity, VPN being open, or access on certain ports, I actually have experience working with those teams, more or less cross-functional teams in general.
That's great. That's great. Just allow me a minute. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I see you have done certification in AWS, correct?
Yes, correct. I currently have
Cloud
the
Practitioner, Solution Architect, correct?
correct. Yes.
So, have you ever handled any Solution Architect role earlier? At what
Uh,
capacity did you handle that?
Solution architect role, yes. My initial role was a cloud engineer, but I kind of worked with
Mhm.
architecting our network solution, implementing the VPCs, the load balancers, and also structuring the IP ranges so that it doesn't cross over as well. In those cases as well, I worked with using landing zone scripts to help provision our accounts, and I was able to also manage those through VPC pairing and connect the needed accounts whenever necessary.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Can you describe your most recent role at the Kansas department?
Yes, so at Kansas, one of the most recent stacks I did with them was they had a need because they had multiple VPCs to go and use the transit gateway because we determined that that would be more efficient in connecting their networks. It's more easier to manage compared to like VPC pairing, whereby it's just only from one to one end, it's not transient, unlike
Mhm.
transit gateway that is able to like be more or less like a hub and spoke, not necessarily a hub and spoke, but mainly the central router for the organization. So I worked on that project of moving over all the VPCs, establishing the transit gateway, sharing it over the necessary accounts, and also connecting that using the transit gateway attachment itself, building out the route tables necessary to allow those connections. And also we had a use case whereby we use the network
Mhm.
firewall manager to be able to like manage those traffic so that whenever we need certain ports, even within and towards our external VPN, we were even able to connect the VPN to the transit gateway as well. But we use the AWS firewall manager to be able to be our internal firewall against any outside intrusion.
What about performance metrics? How was it improved? By how much?
So with the integration of the transit gateway, we were able to see direct connectivity. We didn't have to use different VPC pairing, having all those multiple non-transient connections, and we're able to reduce our latency by 30%.
By 30%. Was it documented or was it more of a trial and error kind of a thing?
It was more or less documented. It was documented
All right. How did you measure this?
by using the
Any
CloudWatch.
tool, any tool for measurement? Yeah.
We were able to use CloudWatch measurements to go through the logs
Okay.
itself. Yeah.
How much comfortable are you with Terraform, CloudWatch, Datadog?
I'm very, very comfortable with Terraform. I'm comfortable with CloudWatch as well. Datadog, I have good experience in Datadog as well, but I wouldn't say I'm as comfortable as compared to CloudWatch. So,
Hmm. Are you able to write your own Terraform script to deploy applications,
yes,
infrastructures?
I'm able to use that to deploy multiple VPCs and even in a multi-cloud environment as well. Yeah.
All right. That's great. What motivated you to specialize in AWS networking? Because I find you very impressive with respect to your profile, okay, as a infra. So what is motivating you to get specialized in AWS networking and looking for a higher position role? What benefit will you be able to get out of it?
I would say the main motivation for me was more or less AWS had the easy and straightforward learning part. With the certifications they provided, they kind of gave you an introductory experience to their environment. And as you grow and as you continue to do more projects, you end up finding out that you end up assimilating the network stack better. And I'm grateful for the opportunity I currently have because that was able to also give me the hands-on I needed, especially on the
Hmm.
networking side, to be able to like troubleshoot a whole lot of issue, endless calls, but eventually there's more or less like a mental sync to understand how the networking works, so that when you see some certain issues, some you're seeing some connectivity issues, you're able to say, oh yeah, this is why, because of this is missing. And the main thing about the cloud environment is when you're having a networking issue, because there's so many steps, it's hard
Hmm.
to pinpoint which one exactly is causing it. But
Hmm.
once you know and you can identify all those steps in your mind, it's just a matter of time to go by them one by one. So to your question of what I can bring to this environment is more or less the experience, the troubleshooting experience of cloud. Because what happens is teams come in and they build the infrastructure, maybe like a late old engineer, whatever the case is. They build the infrastructure. They have more or less more knowledge about the infrastructure than the on-premise guys, which is typically the case, but they're not able
Hmm.
to actually do the knowledge transfer correct, will I say correctly enough or efficiently enough, because the on-premise team as well, they're not really experienced or
Hmm.
exposed to the cloud. So even though they're doing the knowledge KT transfer, it doesn't necessarily or equate like successful in that kind of term. What I bring in this case is more or less the hands-on of having been the one entering organizations whereby I'm not necessarily the one that started it, but I'm able to finish it and eventually understand what everything is doing, because I've also built
Hmm.
my own environment. I've also troubleshooted my own environment, and I've been able to see the endpoints, the bottlenecks, and I've been able to see where things can easily get wrong. And I'm able to like correct that whenever I see those kind of situations. And most importantly, I know how the networking path should go, and I know where to look at once certain things are missing, more or less.
All right. So as per the job description, okay, other monitoring tools apart from CloudWatch that you have looked for? Like, have you tried Nagios, AppD,
I
or
haven't tried those ones. It's one of the things I wanted to study up before the actual job interview. Just take a look at those ones and maybe do like a project on each of them. But I don't
Mhm.
have sound experience with that. But I also looked at it again yesterday night and I was thinking if they were able to send this across, I think they'll focus more on my resume, but I'll just do my own best to make sure that I also try and look up those other requirements
what
as
if the
well.
organization is looking for you to be able to upscale on Nagios or AppD?
So yes, that I'm
How
saying
much
like
time will
just
you require for that?
to study up on that, I will probably need about a week to study up on that.
And will you be like, have you understood the features of this tool, Nagios and AppD? Are they similar to CloudWatch?
I have not worked with these tools. I will need
Okay.
to check out. I haven't worked with them.
It would be helpful for you if you want to
Yeah,
be into this networking, to look into
definitely.
other tools also, because right now, considering the bandwidth, okay, of
Mm-hmm.
organizations, people are looking for multi facet people, right? In that
True.
aspect, I would recommend, considering that you're looking for a senior position, looking into different tools can also be pretty much helpful. Like since you have done Azure fundamental certification, right? Apart from AWS, the reason being, I guess, is having familiarity with Azure also, correct?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Similar to that, I would recommend like looking into tools that might be similar to your use tools. Having a high level architecture view of that can also be very helpful, because once you get into that architect level role, okay, then it becomes very important for you to have a adaptability to those tools also. That can be helpful with minimum possible time. All right.
Sound correct.
Yeah. How do you secure APIs from network attacks?
I'm not too versed on that on the AWS side, but I would
Okay,
say
so
using
mhm.
security group and making sure the route table is only specifying the routes that you want to
There is
allow.
something, I'll just give you a brief. There is something called as AWS WAF, WAF, and I think you're aware about firewall manager, rate
Yes.
limiting, okay, and whitelisting IPs, okay, which IPs will be allowed and which will not be allowed can be a good way to secure APIs, okay. Like I think you should look for security best practices knowledge also. Have a high
Okay.
level knowledge of this aspect can also be very helpful, okay.
Okay.
Like see, compliance, and we say identity access management, right? Securing APIs, all those aspects, if you look into that, can really be very helpful. All right.
All right.
How much comfortable are you with Bash or Python script?
My bash scripting is not good. My Python is okay. I wouldn't say it's the best. I'm familiar with creating loops and what's needed, but I'm not really into like the object-oriented programming, but I'm familiar with the basics of Python essentially.
Mhm. All right. Let us just take a one use case.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose you want to design a highly available AWS network, okay, for a healthcare system. Fine. For
Mhm.
a healthcare system, I'm highlighting for a healthcare system, you need to design a highly available AWS network. How would you go about it?
So I'll go about it by drafting out the first of all
First, tell me
the
the goal. What should be your goal? I have just given you an objective. How would you identify it? What are the pinpoints that you need to look for? Then we'll look into architecture.
so the main point to look for is making sure it's highly available, number one. So this is multi-AZs, implementing that in the design as well. Is redundant as well. We have the load balancing side of it as well. Um, Making sure there's security in place as well. So making sure that we work on the necessary traffic that we need through the route tables and through the security groups as well, and implementing some sort of like firewall as well to block off external traffic. Creating the outer layer, which is more or less our first tier that has our public, whatever we are okay with allowing on the public side. Then using that to send traffic to our private subnets itself. Then eventually get into our DB subnet, which will be hosting our data itself. So more or less breaking it down to three tiers.
Don't you think for a healthcare system, some compliance with respect to data, HIPAA ready compliance is also important when you want to design a highly available AWS network?
Yes.
So
So
have you heard about HIPAA?
yes, I've heard about HIPAA. The compliance is yeah, is more or less data retention, looking at how we are processing our data and how we're also transferring it. So data at rest,
Mhm.
data what they call encryption at rest and encryption in transit as well. Making sure that we have limited access to those data, only those of needed privilege, more or less, are able to see those data and backup and retention as well. So saving it based on the necessary time is needed to save our files.
All right. How about different environments? How many environments would you prefer for this healthcare system?
Three main environments: our public environment, our app environment, and our DB environment.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, can you repeat?
So
Public
three main
environment.
three
Okay.
tiers. So three tiers: the public tier, the web tier, and the DB tier.
All right. Connectivity. Would you keep it hybrid connectivity, or how would you prefer connectivity over this network?
So connectivity over this network will be private. The only part of it that will be public is maybe when we have users who are filling out forms or sending in their documents. That will be on the public tier for them to access, and that will then
Mm-hmm.
route into our own private tier that will be saving it on the database. So that's why I said three tiers: the public tier, and the web tier, which is more or less in our private subnet, and the DB tier, which is also in our private subnet, that will be storing the files that users are uploading and also the files the doctors are uploading as well.
That's great. What is BGP, Border Gateway Protocol? Why is it used?
Well, is the routing protocol used in cloud? It segments different networks together and is able to like route based on the BGP number itself.
Why do we
It's
use
not.
this Border Gateway Protocol? Routing between AWS and something? Is it between cloud, or is it between cloud and on-prem?
It's it's both between cloud and on-prem. It's more or less like this is the primary routing protocol for the internet. It's used to exchange
Mhm.
informations between both entities, whether it's two clouds together or maybe cloud and on-prem. The reason why it's being used is because it provides the level of security that is needed to encrypt our traffic.
All right. What is the role of artificial intelligence going forward in this segment? What do you think?
Artificial intelligence in terms of like networking or in terms of like
Yeah, yeah, in
cloud
terms of
itself.
networking.
In terms of networking, AI might,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
am just
sure.
asking you, suppose
Oh,
if
just
there is
in,
any, yeah,
okay.
basically people are like security and everything, right? Even
hmm
infra, people are trying to automate the work of infrastructure also using AI. So where can AI add the most value in cloud networking according to
The place it can add the most value would be more or less in the creation of the network itself. It to be able to like take in the input from the network engineer that has the needed
you? That can
experience.
easily be taken, that can easily be taken care by Terraform also, right? Terraform
True.
script can do that, correct?
Correct. Yeah. But you could use
Yes.
AI to essentially all of that out. But you could
Build the
use
script you're saying, build the Terraform script you're saying.
yes.
All right. What about AI ops?
So using AI to more or less deliver the what's it called? Like a C what's it called? Continuous delivery or what?
No, no. AI ops is basically operational, like looking into the system logs, okay? Observing the logs with the help of AI, okay? And if there is any anomaly that is being detected, okay, in the log, we can get a trigger directly via dashboard. This is one of the latest field. Okay, people are really interested in having people who have sound knowledge of fundamentals of AI ops also. Okay,
Okay.
going forward, AI ops is not development and operations; it's about IT operations.
So taking a look at what's going on and using AI to be able to see if there's
The
any
IT
anomaly.
operation side, IT operation side, if you can see via AI, okay, and
hmm
then if we can detect anomaly, okay, maybe in the future we can say that the system is going to fail, okay, or there is
Okay.
going to be a network breach, okay, considering that the network is getting weak. Making sense? And if we can
Cool.
find those anomaly and give a log to the person, okay, that can help us save time with the help of AI ops, because artificial intelligence will intervene and try to find abnormality in the system itself on its own.
True.
Another thing, security, okay, security. ML based, there are ML based algorithm that can find threat detection, okay, find if there is any data loss prevention, okay, that is happening within the system on the go itself. If we want to find, okay, then we can make use of security based ML machine learning algorithms also, okay.
Okay.
Apart from that, when I'm saying AI to be added to AI network engineer, okay, or AWS, AWS network or cloud engineer, the main purpose is to be able to observe the system and to be able to secure the system and automate the process, okay, with the help of AI tools. Like if you remember, you told we can draft the Terraform script, right? That will be part of
Correct.
automation. Okay.
Automation as well. Okay.
We'll be able to generate policies. Okay. Based on the user input, we will be able to generate policy that can also be part of automation system. All right.
All right. That makes sense. Yeah.
So looking into AI ops can also be very helpful. Apart from that, I think you already use CloudWatch. Have you used Code Whisper?
I've not used it hands-on, but I have an understanding of what it's used for.
Okay, so basically, I'll give you a brief. It is basically used to write infrastructure code for you.
Yes.
Okay, so you can use it to automate the infrastructure code, debug it, and then run it on your application directly. Fine.
Correct. Yeah.
Apart from that, you can even use, there is something called as VPC outage. You're right.
What was that one used for? I've not heard of that one.
Okay, I'll just give you a brief about it. Let me just take a brief about it. Now, suppose I have generated the Terraform code, okay? Automated the Terraform code generation, okay? How to find whether it is compliant with our organization policy? Suppose if I use AI to generate Terraform code, is it compliant with respect to our with respect to our organization policy? If I want to check that, anything logically you can think, how can we safeguard that?
So the only way to check if it's compliant is more or less to go over it. But I guess this is where
Mm-hmm.
the VPC outage will come to be able to see if it's compliant with whatever we stipulate. Is that what you're referring
Mm-hmm.
to? Okay.
Which tool? One second. Thank you, Asma. That's great. People are answering in the chat also. That's really nice. What is the tool just mentioned? Um, which tool are you talking about? Purush, can you help me out? I'm not sure.
I think he's
All right.
referring to the VPC
He
outage.
was asking VPC outage. Yeah. For infra code, Terraform, I'm talking. Wonderful, wonderful. I see if that you're doing pretty well. I really find you very you can say robust with respect to your knowledge. Only thing that I would like you to add as in your resume is a little bit of knowledge of AI ops, okay, to be able to understand where all the automations are happening in future that can really
Okay.
help you. Okay, AI in networking. If you can add some information with regard to that, considering that you are looking at a very high level role, okay,
Mm,
having knowledge of AI can really take you forward with respect to your goal in future also.
okay.
Okay, so add
Thank you
AI
very much,
ops
sir.
in your process that can be really helpful.
Thank you. I'll definitely start working on AI. But would that be covered on the, let me see, I think that's covered on the AWS AI ML program, right?
See, this will not be directly covered in any of the course, to be very honest.
Okay.
But this is one of the requirement. Okay, organizations are looking for people who have knowledge of how to automate IT operations. Okay, and how
Okay.
to observe the IT operations using AI. So
Okay.
you should look for information. You'll be able to find AI ops is one of the hot thing that is there in the market, but it is only with respect to compliance and you can say with respect to observation. Okay, with respect to
Okay.
that, the operations are being taken by AI engineers only, but the main aspect is with regard to this. What are the processes that has been laid down with respect to AI apps?
Okay. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for the advice as well. And thanks for the time. I really appreciate it as well.
Thank you. Thank you.